You guys watch that new Jerry Springer documentary on Netflix?
I saw that it was on there, but
Fuck yeah, I watched it already. It's
Any
incredible.
good?
It is good because there's a lot of stuff in there I don't think people would know. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. The producers, it's them telling the stories of all the things that happen.
So he was what, originally mayor and then got fired because he wrote a bad check to a hooker or something?
Yeah, he wrote a bad check to a prostitute and she went to the news about it, I think. But he was the mayor of Cincinnati. He was also like a TV anchor on the news there. And then he just up and moved to Chicago and he's like, I'm going to start a talk show. And there was 1,000 talk shows in the 90s, like Ricky Lake, Oprah, all these different ones, and they were all the same format. Some guys just like what Tim Dillon did on his Netflix thing. Some guy with a microphone's just walking up and down aisles, and it's just people. It was before it got raunchy,
right?
But then they were like, our
So
ratings.
Originally, it wasn't like that.
Originally wasn't like that. Originally, he was pretty close and tight with Oprah and everything. And then he started I think they had one episode
He's
where
like, we got to amp this up, guys.
yeah, they hired a guy, an executive producer who used to work at a tabloid in New York, who was just running insane stories, and he brought that to Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer's like a nice guy. He's like, I'm just the face of it out here. The producers were the ones that did all the storylines.
Oh, but he just was like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So he just
went with it?
He just went with it. He kind of just, this is the show. I just try and, it was never about helping people. It's just like, we bring them on here and we let them air it out with our supervision, basically.
They must have brought in some WWE Bride era guys.
The first couple.
So it was all scripted, right?
No, it wasn't. No. There was a lot of people who were saying
Jerry, those people were legit sometimes?
the stories they would call in, and they actually showed a map from Ohio down into Kentucky.
No way.
In the middle of the country there, 75% of all guests in the show's history came from this little circle that they called the Jerry Circle. And it was fucking hillbilly central. They would call in, they would say their story, they get on the show.
I always assumed they were just actors.
It wasn't scripted. They were coached by the producers.
Gotcha.
They were like, you really gotta amp this up. They wined and dined them a little bit. They would send them a car to get to the airport, take them out to go out drinking and partying all night. Then they would record the next day. They would film their show, but the producers are like, hey, we just did all this nice stuff for you.
Yeah, they're like, come on, you got to make this a good show.
You got to make
It
it.
does
Get
sound
them all
like a sweet
pissed and
deal.
hungover.
Yeah.
So that they're all amped up.
Yeah. And then it
You know what? Fuck you. I've been slept all night.
They just haven't slept all night. They're still hopped up on Colt 45.
Good strategy.
Yeah, they just got them
You
fucking
want to get people
hammered.
fighting, take them out, wake them up early next day, be like, yeah, we're going to stick some cameras in your face and bring up some bad shit that you guys didn't want us to talk about.
Maybe not the best business ethics, but
Could you imagine that being your role, though, is that you're a producer on a show and you got to wine and dine just fucking white trash from Kentucky?
I could actually specifically see you getting into that exact business. I feel like
that's when you've made it.
you would be perfect for that, dude.
I would be perfect. Take them to Waffle House. I'd be like, here's how. Look at this. I was like, go up to that really fucking.
She just slapped him.
Just go up and slap him in the back of the face.
You would love it.
Yeah, I'd make coffee for everybody. It'd be a good fucking time, dude. No, that's how it started. It was all of that. They had one episode that kind of gave them the taste of it. They started doing it more. Then the one episode that kind of went over the top was a guy that wanted to marry his horse on the show.
Oh, man.
And they were like, this isn't real. And they literally brought out a pony, and the guy starts tonguing it down on TV.
Ew, really?
Yeah, and it got banned from the air, so you hardly see it anymore. But Jerry brought the Klan on to get into an argument with a guy from the a Jewish Defense League. Yeah, early Jerry, he had the Klan. They got into full blown fist fights on stage. And then they had to pull back a little bit.
Holy shit.
Yeah, to pull back a little bit. We had the Klan on.
He had to pull back after there was a guest that...
Dude, the difference between 90s TV and today, imagine.
Dude, that type of TV, I don't even think it would make kids blink today. They'd be like, I saw better shit on TikTok earlier.
Yeah,
right.
I saw a guy get shot in the head 5 seconds ago, and it'd be hard to compete.
Right.
You can just scroll through that shit and see all types of
I love
stuff.
that they're like, we'll bring on the Klan and then a Jewish guy, and we'll just... Friendly little debate.
Who do you think's right here?
Right. Hey, I know you guys had some stuff to say to each other. Figured this would be the perfect opportunity to air some stuff out.
He brought on, some black people with the Klan too. He did all types of shit. But there was actually a guest that murdered another guest after the show, and that's when they had to really we can't get into.
That's when they go, guys, we got to start taking this a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, it was some guy that didn't want to get back with his wife, and he ended up murdering her 3 months after they taped it, but the day after it aired. So he got a bunch of shit for that. Never legally held responsible for it, but
Classic producers like, fuck.
yeah. I was pissed the day that because I went to a taping at Springer. I know I mentioned that before. Up in Stamford, they used to tape it there.
My old
That's
roommate
crazy.
went to one too.
It's a good time, dude. The episode before ours, they did 3 tapings in one day. They did one at like 10 a.m., 1 p.m. We were for the 1 o'clock. The 10 a.m. one, they were filming and they had to bring a hot tub in. It was a lesbian hot tub party or something. We were like, what the fuck?
That's
That
what's
sounds
up.
fucking... I was like, yeah. I came in line. Like, I was standing in line hard as a rock.
Were they hot lesbians?
Oh, yeah, dude. They had the fucking whole... Yeah, it was just like hot lesbians in a hot tub. They had other people come on and like jump in the water with them. It was
I
a
love
whole
that
thing.
that's just the
That's so
episode for the day.
unrealistic. It's never
Yeah.
how they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's every Pocono trip I've ever taken.
Today we have hot lesbians in jacuzzi. It's pretty much it. Stay tuned.
But the episode that I saw taping, I forget the name of it, but a like 350-pound woman owned a pizza place with her husband, and he was cheating on her, and she like rolled around in pizza dough and tomato sauce and anchovies, and it's like I made myself into a human pizza. I
How
thought
do
that
they pitch that to these people where they're like, look, I know you're going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
Here's what we're thinking. We're going to bring out a giant pizza.
I
Get a lot of dough.
I think it was like the TV court shows where like friends started suing each other.
Yeah.
I think people were like, hey, they're going to pay us. They're going to fly us out. Like, we don't got to get back to our job at Whataburger till next Sunday. Do you want to just go to Connecticut?
Yeah, they're like, oh, cool, get on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it turned into. But I knew
I
that
love that Jerry just kind of went with it. He was like, dude, fuck it. Like, this is where my career's gone.
dude, I was so mad in the showroom because you know how at the end of the show he'd go around and hand people a microphone and you can roast whoever's on stage. I didn't even think of anything. Like I was so immersed in the show. I was like, I can't believe I'm watching Jerry Springer fucking people fight each other live.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of like a joke to say at the end. Some lady that had was bald because she had cancer said something about a black woman on stage, and the black woman said right back to her, she's like, "Bitch, you gonna be fucking dead in 2 months." Like, I was like, okay, this can't be scripted. There's no way somebody responded. Like
Right.
she took it. Whatever she said was about the situation. If it was made up, like if she was that good of an actor, she would not be on the Jerry Springer show.
Right.
There's no fucking way. So
Awesome.
yeah, it was a pretty good time.